You can also listen to us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/theclockcleaners.
Hello and welcome to the Clock Cleaners Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Keith.
And today we're recapping Smackdown Live from July 18th.
Yes. The go-home show to Battleground.
Yeah.
So, it was a pretty good episode overall. I thought it was a solid show.
It seems to be doing better than it was. That's for sure.
Well, I took notes on the show, and it just seemed like there wasn't 80,000 backstage segments this week.
Which helps.
Yeah, it really helped the way the show flowed, I guess.
Yeah, well, SmackDown's biggest problem was the fact that their ratio from matches to backstage segments were a little skewed in the wrong direction.
Well, and this week we had multiple segments that happened in the ring instead of the Cena and Jinder and so on and so forth.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into it.
Dive into it. So we opened the show with first it was a video package from, was it last week? Or is it just about the Punjabi prison, I think?
Yeah, he said that he's bringing it to SmackDown Live.
Yeah. So
Jinder is who we're talking about,
yes.
obviously.
So he opens the show, and we get to see the Punjabi prison on display.
Set up and everything.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool feature, I must say.
Yeah, it's
different. Yeah, that's for sure.
So, Jinder and the Singh brothers come down, and they go in. They explain how everything works.
Yeah. And
then he's going on about how he's gonna beat Randy Orton, and he's gonna hit him with a Colossus
from the top of the.
No, that's not what he said.
Oh, I thought
he said he's gonna in the center of the ring.
Oh, is that all he said?
He's gonna send an earthquake through the WWE.
I gotcha.
So that was a thing. And then he was going on about dirty Americans or whatever.
Yeah.
And at that point in time,
it's kind of when you tune out once the...
Yeah. Randy Orton came out, and then he started climbing up the
Well,
thing.
he was like, you're really crazy enough to lock me in there with you? And
it's true.
The reason you won that title was because of those guys over there.
And they can't get in if you're locked in.
True.
So it's kind of funny that this was the way they went with it. Because he's making a good point.
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
absolutely.
make any sense. But yeah, he comes out. He starts climbing the prison.
The outer cage.
Yeah. And then he goes on and says that he's going to beat him, obviously. And there's a lot of fire and intensity. And
I thought this was really good. It was the first time that I really kind of brought me in. But I mean, I guess that's seeing the structure there and everything. It kind of helps draw you into it.
Yeah.
But because I really don't have much, I guess, knowledge of the Punjabi prison
I've
matches.
never seen one of those matches before.
Because of basically who was in the match, I had no interest in.
Well, it was the Great Khali versus, I think, the Big Show and Batista were the only two that had ever happened. So, but it's funny because I was actually kind of trying to pay attention when Jinder was talking.
Yeah.
And I think the evil non-American gimmick is really hurting him because if he had just a bad guy gimmick, it would be a lot more compelling.
Well, because he does his thing about what he's going to do, and then all of a sudden he has to get into that and talk about being the basically terrorist.
Yeah. So I think had he just been a generic bad guy, like they usually do when they don't have anything to...
It's, I don't even have to explain anything.
Yeah,
it's just an easy way of heat.
What?
Being a
exactly.
foreigner.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's not really a foreigner.
Yep. Well,
so
technically.
Well, a different kind of foreigner. I guess that's true.
Damn Canadians.
So,
taking all the U.S.
But
titles.
yeah, Randy Orton basically came out on top, I guess, of the...
Well, I mean,
it kind of just
he ended the segment, so...
But it was good. A lot of intensity.
Yeah.
And nothing stupid.
Well...
As a plus.
I mean, I would assume this is going to be the end of it, right?
Their blow-off match,
yeah.
you mean? I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that going into SummerSlam, you need a new or fresh WWE title picture.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, there was talk about them having problems selling tickets since Mahal and Orton were the ones that main evented the last...
You're talking about for Battleground or for SummerSlam?
Battleground.
Okay.
I was just talking about the last three in general because they were the ones that main evented
it. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not a big draw, and their plan is to get a country that they don't physically operate in with the India thing.
Yeah.
So you're you're sacrificing your current time for a potential future.
It's true.
So you're not really helping yourself right now.
Yep.
So after that, probably cut back from a commercial, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And they announced
take down the.
but
bring it up.
Yeah, because I think they just brought it into the
similar to Hell in a Cell or whatever. Or not Hell. Yeah.
The cage or a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter which one.
Fair enough.
But yeah, before the commercial, I think they had showed backstage the New Day walking towards the ring, and they announced there was going to be Jimmy Uso versus Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, so this was a good match.
Well, the Usos aren't bad wrestlers. They're been strapped with bad gimmicks.
Wow.
So
this suits them more.
Well, yeah, they have a more physical, tough guy.
But yeah,
presence.
But I mean, it's more of a realistic gimmick too. I mean, the last one with the face paint. And
that was very. That was very. I don't want to say gimmicky because that's dumb. But
that's
cartoonish.
Cartoonish works.
Yeah,
gimmicky was what I was thinking as well. But like you said,
well, a gimmicky gimmick is kind of redundant.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's tacky, kind of.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, it was a good match. Kofi pretty much dominated the beginning of the match, and then they cut to commercial and they did the picture-in-picture thing. And what I found strange is that the spot where Jimmy took over was exactly what happened between Balor and Samson last week, where he went to go for the kick. I don't know why Kofi was doing that.
Yeah.
And then he caught his leg, and then he dropped him onto the apron.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, Jimmy pretty much controlled most of the rest of the match.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's generally how it goes. The face controls until the commercial break, and then you come back and the heel has control of the match.
But yeah, the finish of the match was Kofi hits Jimmy with a
flying splash or splash off the top.
Yeah. And then it was one of those...
Or crossbody, I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of those too much momentum deals. So he goes for the pin, but he's still moving, so he gets flipped over and Jimmy pins him.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure. Did he grab the tights or no? It was just it was clean. Right?
It was probably clean.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a difference. So the Usos actually came up on top.
Well, it wasn't a surprise considering the New Day came out on top
last week. Yeah.
You figure they're going to split it before the pay-per-view.
It's true, but it's just,
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't think the feud will be over after Battleground.
I think that they're going to get their blow-off at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That would be fitting.
Makes sense.
So even if the New Day does win the titles, they'll have another match at SummerSlam probably. So
up next we had Shane and the women backstage. Basically
the contestants for the fatal five-way elimination match.
Yeah, they were pretty much just hyping the match.
Mm-hmm. It was weird that they were all just standing back there.
Yeah,
and
it was like I called you ladies here. Let's talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shane wanted to figure out what to do tonight, and so the women started talking amongst themselves, bickering back and forth. And who started? Was it Charlotte first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, everyone said they wanted to fight Lana.
Yeah, and that's when Tamina stepped in and was like, nobody's fighting Lana, because apparently she's her protector.
Yeah, that's what it looks like they're going with, at least.
And then Natalya said, how about we get Becky and Charlotte? And Charlotte said, the fans would want to see something competitive. And then Becky took it personal. And
that's funny that Natalya said that.
Yeah, and they go back and forth, and Shane's like, you know what, that is a good idea. And so he makes the match. And at this point, I was like, oh, don't do it. Just because it's a match they shouldn't give away on free TV, but
you don't like? Yeah, no. Well, it's not like they've never wrestled before.
No, it was the first time in a long time.
It's been a year and a half,
right?
No,
did they? Oh yeah.
They feuded over the title when Charlotte first won it.
When they had was it 4-way at WrestleMania? Was it?
That was before that.
Yeah, it was before that.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble I think was Becky's only title shot at Charlotte's title, at the Divas title.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a match worth looking forward to.
Yeah. Especially since, the SmackDown matches as of late have kind of been lackluster, I guess.
Well, it's because they've been one-sided. Not one-sided, but they've been one side had the talent.
Well, not even. No, I'm not just talking about the women's. I'm just talking about overall.
Oh, okay.
There hasn't been a match where you're like, oh, that's going to be a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of it's just been tag teams and not tag teams, but sticking two people together against another two people, like they did in the main event tonight.
How much you want to bet they did this in response to Bayley and Sasha being announced for next week?
It makes sense. I believe it, which is fine.
Yeah,
because, yeah. Like I said, I'm no problems watching it, but again, free TV when it could just easily be a pay-per-view match.
I think. Well, that's the thing. I think that there's no reason to care, for them anymore. You know what I mean? In terms of the matches that they give away, as opposed to...
Right, but I mean, it just gives it a little more if you keep them separate until they...
It feels bigger at pay-per-view, but at the same time, they're not losing anything by having it on TV.
Revenue-wise, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and, if they're going to throw us the repeat matches over and over again anyway, what's going to stop us from watching it on pay-per-view?
No, it's true.
Well, we've seen it already. It
happens
all the time.
Match with all 5 women.
Exactly, and they end with the Money in the Bank match, which was literally the same match.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but like I said, I have no problem because if the matches are good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
very much
absolutely.
like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn should wrestle every single night.
Yeah,
and I'd be okay with it.
Very good.
As long as it's not the same exact match, which they are more than capable of changing it up just a little bit every time.
Absolutely.
So. So up next, they did a little recap of what happened the night before with Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan.
Yes.
And then they had Renee Young interviewed Chad Gable in the back, asking him how he's going to deal with.
Renee was like, "So what was your thoughts when it happened?" Chad Gable was like, "What?"
Well, he said he didn't know anything about it, so
yeah,
which is weird, but whatever. But yeah, he says that. He's not going to be too concerned about him leaving or whatever.
No. But, he was like, it didn't only change Jason Jordan's life, it also changed mine, too. So now I don't have a tag team partner.
It's true. Which means he's going to be moving on to great things as a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it's very hard to argue against that.
Yeah, just because of, like I said, he put on a good show with AJ, and then he wrestled Owens too, right? Yes,
he
did.
wrestled Owens first,
yeah.
And then
so
AJ the week after.
Just those two, the fact that he was able to kind of like stand out in a backstage segment with AJ there.
Yeah. Well, this might have been a test last week to see how he does on his own and things like that, and then they pulled the trigger on this.
Yeah. I don't think they would have stopped them. It's just a matter of what they're going to do with Gable.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
So,
yeah. So, up next, we've got the debut of Mike Kanellis versus Sami Zayn. So, whoever designed Mike's tights is a fan of Billy Gunn, Shawn Michaels,
the lips on him, right?
and Rick Rude, because he's got Maria Kanellis' figure, face on it.
Really? I didn't even notice that. I saw the lips.
It was her body, I think.
Maybe. I saw the lips and the hearts.
Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah.
So tacky, yet so good.
Yeah. Well, they're going for the power of love.
It's true.
Which is a very dumb gimmick, but whatever.
Well, hey, if they're both invested into it, that's really all that matters.
It's true. I guess you can if the effort's put in, then you can get anything over,
exactly.
Theoretically speaking.
Which I would assume at some point Maria will be
a wrestler?
On the women's roster.
Did she ever really wrestle too much?
In TNA she did.
Oh, okay. I know that she didn't have a big wrestling role. I know she did wrestle, but she didn't wrestle a lot, I don't think.
Yeah.
When she was in the WWE. I guess it's possible.
I'm pretty sure she had a big... I mean, TNA was a little different than what WWE is now in terms of women's wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was definitely talent there, but there was a lot of half-naked women,
So it's like
rolling around, yeah.
That's how the wrestling, the women were back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Pretty much, yeah. So anyway, Sammy controlled the majority of this match. He was able to hit the exploder suplex into the corner. At this point, Maria gets in the ring and kind of is like... I guess just standing between Sammy and Mike.
Yeah, he was going for the haluva kick.
Yeah, right. And basically, she was distracting him and the referee, Sammy, that is. And Mike got up and sucker punched Sammy in the mouth and then hit him with the Samoan driver.
Which was an odd move. I'm guessing they just haven't come up with a name for that yet.
I think I could have sworn they said it was the power of love, but I mean, that might have just
No,
been
they were just saying that
that's what it was. Yeah. No, okay.
They called it a Samoan driver.
Right.
So Mike Kanellis actually beat Sami Zayn in his opening match.
Well, he was a professional loser. That was his previous gimmick. Sami Zayn, that is.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was his Raw gimmick.
That's true. He didn't win a whole lot on SmackDown either.
No, but he's been featured in a lot more.
Oh, yeah,
it wasn't, you got to do this and jump through hoops. And
yeah, he's much more prominent.
Yeah.
And much more. He's got the appeal or the gravitas of a winner, even if he doesn't win all the time.
Yes. But, yeah.
So up next, John Cena came out to address the flag match on Sunday.
I don't know.
This wasn't great, but I know what he was doing.
No, I know, and John Cena's the only person that you could stick in this role to do it.
Yeah, he's the American. He's the big patriot guy.
Oh, you know.
So it's not really necessary. Had this been a pay-per-view that culminated on the 4th of July,
right? Yeah,
that would make a lot more sense. But you're already past it. Like I said, he comes out, he does his whole patriotic spiel, which it's been done to death. It's technically being done with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal.
That's the real thing, is you don't need this twice.
Yeah, so like obviously John Cena is going to be the best at doing this. But like you said, it's not really.
I think they brought up 9/11 too.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's not really compelling. It's more of, kind of just pandering.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he talks about how he's going to win the flag match, and then Rusev attacks him from behind.
He puts him in the accolade once, and Cena starts to get up and tries to throw him into the corner, right? But then Rusev just holds on, and that was the end of the segment.
Yeah. Well, Rusev finally got him to pass out from the accolade, and then he walked up to the entrance and put the flag into the hole.
Yeah.
And then that's when the segment ended.
When was the last time they said a flag match was? 10 years ago? Is that what they said?
It could have been longer.
Yeah.
I don't remember any flag
matches. The last one I remember is like Brett and Shawn. No, it was Brett, Shawn Michaels.
No, it was Brett.
It was a 6-man, right?
Yeah, it was Brett, Owen, and Bulldog against Mankind, Austin, and Undertaker.
Yeah, maybe that was
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's right.
That was almost 20 years ago, if not 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Just because that's not really a thing that they would have done in the 2000s.
No. Well, you didn't really have. I mean, you did have it a little bit with the anti-American.
Yeah, that was
gimmick.
That was obviously put a big halt on after 9/11 and stuff.
Well, the whole Hassan.
All that crap.
Yeah,
so
Muhammad Hassan.
Basically, any foreign person was not treated as anti-American; they were just treated as
foreign.
Yeah. So, like the Great Khali was, he wasn't a heel necessarily because he wasn't American. He was just a heel in general. Yeah. Depending on what he was doing.
We had up next a backstage segment with AJ Styles and Shinsuke in the locker room together. AJ started to talk about strategy, and Shinsuke was kind of looked at him.
Yep.
And
he was more interested in something else.
Yeah, and then talking about Japan. And Shinsuke looks at the belt, and he's like, "One day you will call, and I will answer," which is what we want at some point.
Everybody wants the Shinsuke versus AJ match. So that's only a matter of time. Yeah. And it's just basically, is it going to be WrestleMania next year? Is it going to be sooner? Is it going to be later?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I think, SummerSlam's too soon.
It's true, but it also depends on where the story lies. Yeah. Are they going to do something with Corbin? Is he going to be done with Shinsuke?
Yeah, but I feel like that's WrestleMania is definitely the way to go with that.
It would make more sense, and not over the U.S. title.
It doesn't even. The title is second.
I know, but I don't I don't see AJ holding on to the U.S. title for that long.
Yeah, no.
So that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, it'll probably be like a multi-man match where he drops it or something like that, and then that's when you finally have your mid-card section fighting for the mid-card title.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Eventually.
And that's where Jinder's going to be once he loses.
Who knows? That's
assuming that he doesn't drop to the pre-show status.
He'll be fighting Ty Dillinger every week. He'll be losing this time.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So up next, they had the actual Becky versus Charlotte match.
Yeah.
With Natalya.
This was a great match.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
The only thing I was disappointed in, and I can't really be disappointed, but it was just the fact that it went into picture-in-picture, the small mode, and it's just...
Well, while that is aggravating,
yeah,
because it's kind of hard to follow because it's small and the commercials are playing.
So loud.
But at the same time, you got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that is true.
So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So, but yeah, this was a really good match.
Yeah.
Pretty much the majority of the match, Becky was trying to hit the disarmer on Charlotte, and she kept on evading it.
It was, Natalya was on commentary for this match as well. Might as well point that out. But I think it was... I don't know if this was how the finish happened, but Charlotte had gone for the natural selection, and Becky had grabbed her arm and then put her in the disarmer. Is that when she grabbed to the ropes first? Or did she counter
that? No, that was the end. That was the end when she went for the natural selection,
okay.
But she missed. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Becky grabbed her arm, and that's when she tapped out to the...
Yeah, which was kind of surprising. I would have expected Natalya to get involved, but I guess Becky... Not that she needed the win, but she really hasn't been... built up
it's true.
Quite some time.
She really hasn't done a whole lot of anything, actually.
No, since dropping the belt to Alexa.
Her involvement has been more of a...
veteran presence, would you say? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what SmackDown was. It was kind of the young bucks, so to speak, that were getting their
yeah, because she was the one who just barely had the Money in the Bank taken from her twice. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily that she's like losing, but she's just not quite built up or hasn't been built up in a while. That and Charlotte doesn't really need the win anyway.
No, that's true. But I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to Charlotte saying that Becky wasn't any competition and then she loses. So.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing there is that
that she's on her level.
Yeah, she proved Charlotte wrong.
Be obviously a future match or future feud.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Tamina and Lana end up coming out after the match.
Yeah, which is weird. Lana has the worst ring gear. It's
odd.
It looks like she's wearing a bathing suit. It's so weird. It's just because, like, the dress thing was cool, but then what she wears underneath it is just...
No, yeah.
It looks like she's wearing, like, a lifeguard, like, bathing suit. Yeah. It's off-putting because there's nothing to it. There's no designs on it. It's just a straight red,
pretty boring,
one-piece bathing suit. So.
Yeah, but the heels attacked the faces, and then I guess Tamina and Natalya started getting into it, right?
Well, I think Natalya came in to interrupt.
Was it? Or I thought all of them were beaten up on.
Yeah, well, because I know Natalya attacked Tamina. I wasn't sure if Becky and Natalya, not Becky, Becky and Charlotte had gotten the upper hand, and then Natalya evened it out.
Maybe.
And then Natalya went after Lana, and then Tamina attacked her. And then in the end, Tamina and Lana
just kind of stared at each other,
and they just left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least it's something toward the match, so that everybody is kind of.
Trying to on the same level ish, or trying to make it looks like everyone has a chance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's it's good. They're trying to make it less. Okay, this is going to be the person who wins.
Right.
So, and obviously that's how it should be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and we had a backstage interview with Renee interviewing Naomi.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
It is. I mean, I guess they're in an awkward position with the women's champion and having Carmella have the Money in the Bank.
Well, honestly,
it's good what they did.
Yeah, what they did was good, but the fact that they had this segment was weird to begin with.
Yeah. Well, they were like, oh, yeah, we got a champion, too. We should probably put her on TV.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like the fact that number one contenders match is the match on the pay-per-view.
Right.
So that's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could have just as easily put Carmella in the match.
No, I don't think they've ever done something like that, actually.
It's just completely kept it separate?
Yeah, I think that if you have the Money in the Bank, your role is to just have side feuds, short side feuds where where you're not...
I guess they're keeping it so it's more of a surprise when it happens. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't think I've ever heard of someone going for the title while
they were
holding the briefcase.
Fair enough.
Unless they were intending to cash in the briefcase.
Yeah, fair enough. You know more than I do about that.
But yeah, Carmella just came up and she said, "Wherever you go, I go."
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yep.
So there wasn't a whole lot to it.
No.
After that, we had the Fashion X-Files.
Yeah.
And the truth is not H.
Yes.
Which is really funny.
So, Fandango posted a picture of Heath Slater with, he had long hair, right? At one point? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When he was in the Nexus.
Really, long red hair, which he obviously has.
Yes.
And someone commented on it, and it said, "Why'd you post a picture of the Wendy's girl?" And they tagged Wendy's in it. So Wendy's responded, and they said, "Because our day one is H." It's so good. And this is what social media.
Great.
Yeah, it was so good.
That just means that whoever's in charge of PR at Wendy's,
they've been doing it with a lot of fast food places. Like Arby's did a couple of them that were, I don't know if they were involved with TNA. One of them might have been, and then they were just involved with I know they had G.I. Joe on one and some other things.
But it's just great because that means that people are paying attention to things.
Right. Yeah.
It's not, okay, we only care about what we're doing, so we're completely oblivious to the world around us.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the Fashion Files on the WWE is not a mainstream thing.
No.
But the fact that someone, knew enough to do something like that's great.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
That's really funny, actually.
So, yeah, what did they have on the board this time?
There's a bunch of different things.
There was Scotty Too Hottie was there, and they had R-Truth, and it said the truth is out there.
Yeah.
And then underneath it, there was a little, because I saw a blown-up picture of it, and it said, "Where's little Jimmy?" Who else was on there?
Well, Tony Schimmel?
Yeah, he's always on there.
He's always on there. His never changes, too.
No. There was one that was so good. I forget what it was. It was one of the top ones.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to what they spoke about.
Yeah. So I guess they were going over, what happened last week, right? And they're both dressed up as Mulder and Scully from the X-Files.
Yeah.
And Tyler was in the red wig, and shit. Now I forgot everything that happened.
Of course, Tyler was dressed up as the one.
Well, yeah. What were they talking about at first?
Were they talking about their office?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to figure out who.
I don't remember how it started out, but I remember that all of a sudden they hear a ghostly noise, and they pull back a curtain, and Aiden English is back there singing.
Oh, yeah. He was going, ooh.
Yeah.
But he was just doing his voice warm-up.
So that was when they brought the ghost into it. And then all of a sudden, the light above them turns on.
Yeah.
And
the guy, the delivery guy.
Yeah. That's when they were like, what did they make a reference? It's like Max Moon, Chewbacca, and a couple other things.
And the delivery guy's like, I just turned the light on.
Yeah. And he had a package for them. And they had opened it, and it was the horse from last week. The head of the horse.
Okay.
I want to believe.
I want to
That's
believe.
What it was.
And Tony Schimmel says unintelligent life form.
Yes. Oh, that was
George the Animal Steel with the picture of
Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot. Yeah. Oh, this is pretty funny. There's a picture of Hornswoggle, and it says anonymous GM. So, do you know what that is?
What, the anonymous GM? Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with how that was supposed to be like the reveal that he was the
what about when he was Vince's illegitimate child?
That happened too.
It did.
It didn't happen, I don't think, but
yeah, I don't remember what else.
There's a picture of the Godfather, and it says the The
Ghost
G
train, right?
hose train.
But yeah, if you didn't get a chance to watch the segment, watch it. I know you weren't the biggest fan of the segment. You thought it was underwhelming, I guess.
I think. I think a lot of the X-Files esque things kind of went over my head a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that was my biggest problem with it because it wasn't bad. It had some funny parts to it,
but like we said, had anybody else been doing these skits, it would have just been terrible.
Their money.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have a lot of... I would assume they would have freedom anyway to do a lot of these things.
Yeah. And the fact that they have so much material to go off of.
So, anyway, they opened up the box, and it had the head of the horse ripped apart, and it said, we'll see you at Battleground, right?
I think it said, we'll end this at Battleground.
Yeah, okay. Well, regardless. So who do you think it is? I have 2 guesses.
You actually have guesses?
I do.
Well, it can't be the Ascension because we established that it's not them.
Right.
It's not the New Day. It's not the Colognes. It's not the Usos.
Right.
So the only options are the Hype Bros.
Okay.
And is there any other tag teams? The answer's no.
No.
So you think it might not be a tag team?
A former tag team.
Former tag team.
Harper and Rowan.
Oh, that would make
together.
sense. That'd be good. Neither of them have been on TV.
And then the other choice was one that just popped into my head because it was the only other 2 people on the show. I was going to say the Singh brothers or something like that.
No, obviously it's not going to be them.
Nah, it was just a thought.
Yeah. Well, they're not a
anything besides
a threatening presence. So
that doesn't mean anything,
I guess. But you assume it's going to be a threatening presence. That'd be interesting. Yeah, and so far they're not on the Battleground card at all.
Who?
The Harper and Rowan. So
they're not even on the SmackDown card.
I know, but still. Anyway, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean that's really all it would make sense. I don't know, unless they have some random team coming in, but I doubt that.
Yeah, the Hype Bros wouldn't make any sense. So.
No,
I like it.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
So up next we had the main event of AJ Styles and Shinsuke versus Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin.
For the first time ever.
Yes.
Although I felt like we've had this match before.
It's happened before.
When?
I don't know.
I could have swore it was on SmackDown like a few weeks ago.
It was.
But they kept on saying it was the first time ever.
Doesn't mean anything.
Well,
lie to us all the time. They told us Kurt Angle was Jason Jordan's father, for God's sake.
Well, here's the thing.
I made the comment that Kevin Owens and Corbin worked well together, and then they fought, unless it was a different.
I know that Corbin and
Owens
have tagged together. It was probably AJ and Sami Zayn.
Oh, maybe.
I think that I don't think because this was probably one of the weeks when Nakamura was feuding with Dolph.
I don't know.
So
you might be right.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's possible.
So,
but yeah, this was a decent match.
The match started with first AJ came out
made
first?
his entrance, then Nakamura started to come out, and Corbin went to attack him from behind, but Nakamura kind of knew it was coming, and then Owens came out, and they all kind of brawled before the match started.
Yeah.
So.
And then obviously the match starts.
Yeah. Apparently I have no internet connection.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, decent match. Not really surprised with the 4 of them.
Of course.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of looking forward to the Nakamura-Corbin.
Corbin has made great strides.
Yeah. I know you weren't the biggest fan a while back.
Well, when he first came up, he was not very good.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Well, he's very green.
Yeah.
But
he's gotten so much better. He's much more interesting. He's better on the microphone. He's doing good stuff. Yeah. So I have no problem with him.
I think, I don't know, this is just me.
I honestly can't wait till he cashes in that briefcase.
Yeah. But I feel like they've kind of softened Nakamura up since coming to the...
Well, you can't make someone seem invincible.
No. I don't mean like that, but his strikes seem a lot weaker than they did.
Well, you got to work safe.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying it kind of took away a little from Nakamura. Because, like, his matches with Joe, everything was so hard and stiff. And
that's true.
Things like that. It wasn't with Rude, I guess, as much.
Well, I think part of it is the WWE and NXT have different, I guess, styles and expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's weird.
No, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I definitely believe it. I know when one of his first matches on SmackDown, we noticed that his Kinshasa was much
weaker. I think there's when he hit it on Corbin.
No, the one I'm referring to was on Owens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very early. It was like a month or two ago.
But I mean, when he was fighting Dolph, he was really letting him. I think he was. Oh, Dolph's more of a punching bag, I guess.
It's
true.
But yeah,
he hasn't been on SmackDown for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I know, but who cares?
Probably doing his stand-up comedy,
or he's doing the dark matches or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
yeah.
So the heels won.
Yes, yeah. Forgot the ending of the match.
Yeah, Owens hit AJ with a pop-up powerbomb.
Mm-hmm. And that was it.
That was all she wrote.
Yeah, like I said,
you could tell that the finish of the match was coming because they had Shooter Season 2 will premiere in
a minute, like 22, whenever it came up or whatever, and I was like, oh, all right.
So okay, so we're not gonna have any surprises here.
No.
So
yeah. So that was SmackDown.
Yep. If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.